So, man, it's your big brother K-Rino. Today, my friends, we're going to be talking about, I'm just going to say it, salty, bitter, petty people. And I'm not saying this from a messy point of view. That's not where I'm going with this, because that ain't how your boy get down. I'm saying this as a teaching moment, because a lot of people go through things in their life and they deal with people, and when those relationships go bad, it could be a business relationship, it could be a personal relationship, it could be a regular friendship, whatever it is, that's a relationship. When those relationships go bad, sometimes one of the people, it could be both in some occasions, but usually, well, not usually, but sometimes one of the people, they go away from it being real bitter and upset about the way that things ended. And when that happens, it's very it's a sad thing to see, because it's an example of how another individual, number one, doesn't have control over themselves, doesn't have control over their emotions, and they act out based on the lack of control of those emotions. Now, none of us have our emotions 1000% mastered. Nobody has mastered their emotions. We all get out of character sometimes. We all flip out and get upset and got to come down. Most people are able to put themselves back in check or come down or catch themselves when they get in a moment where it's like, okay, it's getting too extreme. Some people are not able to do that, and they act out based on their inability to control those emotions. And those methods of acting out usually consist of just trying to do something um, to affect the other person, to make the other person feel some kind of pain, to make the other person feel some kind of discomfort because they're going through a certain amount of pain. They feel like, hey man, like the saying goes, hurt people hurt people. So they want to try to impose that on you. So they're real salty. It may be things that you said to them when y'all were good in confidence. Then they go back and tell people that you said that. It may be a vulnerability that you shared with them. That something may have happened to you when you were younger, and you shared that with them because in that moment you thought that they was somebody who was trustworthy. Then they go back and they say, well, that's why when you was 8 years old, this happened. They try to jab you with um, uh, the very things that you confided in them with. And those are real sad people. They sad people. A lot of those people, they need help themselves. They come from situations where things have happened to them, and they need some help themselves. And there's a lot of people running around here with unchecked mental issues. They just in the streets, walking around, unchecked mental issues. They are just functional enough to blend into society in a way that you would not notice unless you get close to that person. Then it'll come out at some point. But sometimes it's not even as serious as just somebody having mental issues. It's just somebody just has that character flaw in them where they have to violate certain principles and certain codes. If me and you are good, if you my homie, you my friend, whatever the case is, and we good and we fall out, there's nothing that you told me, nothing that you ever told me that's of a negative nature. You could have told me, man, one time, man, we robbed this dude, man. One time we broken these people. Nothing you ever told me should or would ever come out my mouth to anybody else outside of me and you. And that's a code. But there are people who will 1000% violate those levels of trust. And once that happens, you at the point of no return with that person. It's no coming back from that. It's no coming back from that, because now you view them in such a way that it's like, wow, you got to step back and be like, you know what? Wow, I never thought that you would take it to that level. When I told you that, when I shared that with you, when I did that in total trust and confidence that you was my dog, you was my friend, my whatever. So a person who violates that is not worthy of any future conversation, any future connections, anything of that nature. And it happens to people every day, unfortunately. It happens to people that you've been friends with 10, 15 years or longer. And when they hit that moment of dissatisfaction, they will go there. Some will go there. Salute to the people who would never go there, because there are a lot of people. I like to believe there are more people that wouldn't do that. There are a lot of people who would never do that. There are things that you know. There are things that you've discussed with friends and family that you would never, ever repeat. And that's how it has to go. That's how it should always be. Because in the moment that was shared with you, that person opened up to you. That person opened up to you with the full belief that you was a person that would never betray that. So you have to live up to that. That's the honorable thing to do. Anything opposite of that, I'm just going to say it, reveals the snake that you really are. If that's how you get down. That's how you get down. I've seen people do it, man. I've seen people use the very thing that somebody told them against them. And you got to be careful with that. That's why people say guard your energy and things of that. That's where all that comes from, or that's part of that foundation. So keep that in mind moving forward, y'all. Number one lesson is, don't be that kind of person. Doesn't matter how bad it got. Don't be that kind of person. Have some dignity, have some honor, and trust in God that He will heal you. And don't let your anger overcome you when it comes to a situation like that. Even if the person did you wrong. I want to say that too. Because sometimes, the person tripped out. The person did do you wrong. But even if a person did you wrong, just move on. Just move on from them. That's all you got to do. Leave it alone. All right, man, it's your big brother, K-Rino. If anything I missed, y'all drop it in the comments section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and always keep your notifications on, because I be giving y'all that game. All right, man. Peace.